WCB Podcast, your source for all things Chicago Blackhawks and everything hockey. With your host, Jarom and Tanner. Let's do it. Jarom and Tanner.
It's another edition of the WCB Podcast. It's Jarom. It's Tanner. What's up, bud?
Oh, it's a big week.
It is the week that we have been waiting for. We've been talking about nonstop.
The week I'm always waiting for right now with the way the team is in the rebuild mode.
Yeah, life of a Blackhawk fan, baby. You know, usually we should be like, doesn't really matter until July 1st, but hey, top 5 pick. What do you say? Blackhawks draft, 3rd overall this upcoming Friday. We're gonna go do our last preview of, draft preview and all that kind of stuff. We got our final rankings, just kind of talking a little bit about, needs and wants and all that. And then we'll wrap up the episode with a little bit of free agents / off-season talk. Just because the next time we record will be July 1st, and the first day of free agency will essentially be over and done with, and we'll have a good idea. So we'll try to make a little prediction, or maybe a little Kyle Davidson wish list, maybe to end this episode. But let's get into it. Because we're setting up the way we're doing, talking about the draft, talking about off season. I want to just talk about Toews really quick. Just at the beginning, let's get that over with. Jonathan Toews is back in the NHL. He is going
Where
to
was
be a Winnipeg Jets.
Yeah, shit.
Oh, shh. So
Dude,
I had to rock my 19 today for him. There you go, buddy. Let's go.
Yeah, dude. Speaking of 3rd overall picks, Jonathan Toews.
One might say the greatest 3rd overall pick in Blackhawks history. And I'm only saying that because I don't know who else was drafted at 3rd overall all time with the Blackhawks.
Oh, Cam Barker.
Oh, yeah, never mind. Sorry, Toews.
Kirby Dach.
Yeah. Thanks for Frankie, baby. Is Frankie getting Frankie for Kirby Dach? Does that make him Kirby Dach actually one of the best 3rd overall picks we've ever had?
Yeah, value. Pretty sick value. I was just trying to think of not just Blackhawks 3rd overall picks, but 3rd overall picks of all time, and what could be the best.
Let me see. Okay, so 3rd overall pick. Okay, there's a little competition. 1984, Eddie Olczyk. Toews is still better, but Olczyk is a household name. 1980, Dennis Savard, 3rd overall pick. I think Toews has got him beat in terms of Blackhawk history, no?
Mm-hmm.
And then, as you said, Kirby Dach and Cam Barker.
Let's see. In terms of full NHL, in recent history, Leon Draisaitl's a 3rd overall pick, so that's kind of tough to beat.
Sorry, one more. Terry Keffery in 1966 for the Blackhawks.
I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
This doesn't show anything past the year 2000. Marian Gaborik was a 3rd overall pick. Toews is actually better than everybody here. And I would say he's better than Leon Draisaitl because Leon Draisaitl hasn't won a fucking cup. 0 for 2. Toews is 3 for 3.
Mic drop. Let's go. Yeah. Spoiler alert. Edmonton Oilers choked and lost the cup again. We were talking about it last week that we were either going to be celebrating, or the Florida Panthers would be celebrating, or we would be prepping for Game 7. Oh, Edmonton forgot that Game 6 even happened. That was a fucking blowout. But anyway, Jonathan Toews.
Yes.
The man, the myth, the legend.
What a contract he signed. I was thinking league minimum, maybe $1 million. Who knows?
Yeah.
He could end up with $7 million this year.
It's insane. So he's got a base salary of $2 million.
Yep.
And then it's $5 million in different.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I thought you were gonna break it down.
No. $5 million in different bonuses. Going from games played in the regular season and then games played and playoff rounds won by the Jets.
$550,000 at each benchmark of 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 games played. And then $500K for making the playoffs plus 50 games played. And then $250K per series win with him playing at least 50% of the games. And then the last banger is $1 million for Stanley Cup plus playing 50% of the games, I think, in just the Stanley Cup final.
Yeah, that's a good deal for Toews. And Friedman was talking about on 32 Thoughts that he's like, people are like, oh, that's such an overpay, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, he's like, you're telling me you wouldn't pay $7 million to have a Stanley Cup?
Yeah.
Like, the only way he gets that money is if they win the Stanley Cup.
Yes.
Like, so it's going to be well worth the money. Like,
yeah, I mean, it's, I guess, if you're looking at it as if he plays 60 games, he's getting what? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So like another 2.75 million. So his base, so against the cap, I guess, because they could go over it into next year, but it would be 4.75 million rather than 2 million. And then anything that happens in the playoffs is just what could bring it up to that 7. But like 4.75 isn't bad. I don't know. I guess it does seem kind of crazy for a guy that hasn't played in 2 years.
but again, though, it's like, it's one of those things like, yeah, it's crazy. But if you think about it, if he hits all of those and the team hits all of everything, and it's like, okay, he proved his worth, you know, like.
Well, I'm just saying it'd be funny if like he plays 60 plus games, gets paid 4.75, and like they miss the playoffs,
and then they're like have like an overage of like 2 million or something next year.
Yeah, like they could just push it to next year. But it's the thing that's funny to me is the fact that he hasn't played in 2 years.
Yeah,
and his contract, if he plays the full season, would be worth more than Patrick Kane's contract last year.
Well, Toews is a better asset. What can I say?
Yeah, I guess so. It is cool though. I do like the way that it's structured because it was like we talked about it before outside of the podcast, but it was like reminiscent of like the Bergeron contract that he signed. But that one's even funnier because that was like $2.5 million and like 10 games played. That was it.
Yeah, and then like the Marty Brodeur when he was with St. Louis and he got like 100,000 for every win.
Yeah, that shit's so funny.
But yeah, I'm glad he's back.
Yes,
it's gonna be weird seeing him in another jersey, but I'm really happy for him to be going to.
All those mock-ups of like I'm just like, it looks strange to not be in like the red.
Yeah,
to have that kind of lame Jets jersey on.
It's like at least Kaner had the Detroit red, you know.
Yeah.
So it's
at
like
least Kaner's in like classic New York Rangers and classic Detroit jerseys. It's like the Jets are still, that franchise is still only like a little over 10 years old at this point, and I don't know, it's kind of not the greatest logo. It's kind of boring.
Yeah, well, the league is being dicks and not giving them back their original Winnipeg Jets heritage. Like, I think how they do all that drives me crazy. And then not only do they do that, they have the heritage of the Thrashers, and they never once did a reverse retro mashup of the Winnipeg Jets with the Atlanta Thrasher baby blue, and then do like Winnipeg down like the sleeve. Yeah. Don't know why they never did that. Like that sucks, but
that would be pretty sick.
Yeah. So Toews is back. Looking forward to it. I can't wait for that first game in Chicago. It's gonna be crazy, all the onions being cut like throughout the stands, like just everybody, like just allergies and everything.
Just play the fucking video on repeat during the whole game.
So and then I guess the other non-draft and off-season news is the Hall of Fame class was announced today, and Duncan Keith will be a member of the 2025 class of the Hockey Hall of Fame. He was voted in on his first year of eligibility, which really no surprise. We knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
I was kind of thinking about this more today, like after I left work, that I'm like, it's crazy. Like we grew up with like the Cup era and like enjoying that. And now it's been so long that we are reliving the Cup era players entering the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Like it
is kind of like weird to be like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
We're at that age where we saw this guy's whole career.
Yeah, like, oh shit. But yeah, awesome for Keith. Some other notable names was Joe Thornton and Zdeno Chara, and why am I blanking on everybody else?
Alexander Mogilny.
Oh, finally. Yeah. So the class of 2025, Keith, I'm sure you made Noli very happy that he got voted in that quickly.
I mean, it just makes sense.
No, 100%.
That was so good.
Yeah, and you brought up a good question. Was it you in the group text? Is it just Toews and Kane last from the Stanley Cup?
It wasn't me, but I could see it being just them two. Though I do think there should be consideration for like Seabrook, and Crawford, and Hjalmarsson.
I think you should go Siebes, Hjalmarsson, Crawford in that order.
I think what'll be weird is that it'll more than likely be Crawford first. Because I think I was looking at like NHL probables for like Hall of Fames, and his stats are kind of there with like other Hall of Famers. Just doesn't have like the individual trophies, but like the wins and save percentage and everything is up there with Hall of Famers. And that's where I think Seabrook also gets a little bit more of a bump, though. Even though he has no individual awards, he did win with Canada. And I think he probably won on like multiple levels.
Okay, let me ask this, because I generally don't know. Crawford's individual trophies listed as the Jennings. Is that individual because it's always awarded to the goalie tandem?
It's not always the goalie tandem. It's the team. It depends on how many games played that the tandem has.
Okay, so is it still like would you still consider that individual award for Crawford? Because I do know at least one of those. I think it was with Ray Emery.
Yeah.
So is that still considered an individual, or you say it's like half?
It's an award.
Okay. No, I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm just generally curious.
Because like there's the years that like the Rocket gets shared.
That's fair.
So like that's still an individual award.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a little bit different though to me, because it's different teams and it's not like it's hanging on one or the other. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think the in terms of like what the award is, that's just how it is. It's like it's awarded to the goalies of the team that lets in the fewest amount of goals. And I think there's like a minimum games played for like being split between two goalies.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's get into draft talk then.
Yes.
So so much is going on. Let's just do a refresher on the picks. The Hawks have 10 total picks coming up this year's draft. They have the 3rd overall, the 25th overall, 34th, 60th, which was via Dallas through the Max Domi trade, 66th overall, 98th overall, 107th overall via the New York Rangers Patrick Kane trade, 162nd overall, 194th overall, and 197th overall via Boston, via the Soderstrom trade that just happened a few weeks ago.
Was that it? Oh yeah, that's it. Okay.
That's it. Yeah. So right off the bat, they're not using all these, right?
Yeah, they are. They never package picks to move up in the draft.
All right. So those are the picks. We've kind of talked about it, but now that we are here at draft time, key needs that you are really hoping get addressed by the Hawks in the next couple days on Friday and Saturday via draft. And we'll talk specifically about draft picks. Obviously, there's needs that can be addressed via trade, but let's just talk about picks at this time.
I mean, I think it's obvious that the first pick, 3rd overall, needs to be a forward. Somebody that can help out in the top 6. And then 25, I think it's another one of those kind of like Sam Renzel type picks. Not that a defenseman, but what you could do is one of those like big or like high risk, high reward kind of picks.
Yeah.
And then 34 is literally right there afterwards. You can probably get. It's funny. Like there's times where like I was looking through the draft like guide and I'm like, oh, this guy would be good at 25. And then I'm like kind of thinking about it, I'm like, they might still be there at 34. They'd be great at 34 too. Like it's either way. It'd be nice to get some more size to complement all the skill and speed that he's collected. And then also I think maybe getting some more in the later rounds, just like defensive prospects, just because all of the defensive prospects that we have right now, other than like 2 or 3, are basically knocking on the door for the NHL already. So there isn't like a lot of like guys farther off that are in the system.
Gotta get the Nets crop going.
Yeah. And then honestly, like if he wants to snag a goalie too, because like you can never have too many. I mean, honestly, you can't have too many, but it's nice to have, you know, if one starts to falter, like it's not like, oh shit, that was our last chance. Like, okay, well, no, there's another one in the system.
Well, especially now that you're gonna have to start making a decision on Spencer Knight, Drew Commesso, Soderblom, and that Adam Gajan.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you're all like, yeah, there's guys clear cut that the Hawks are gonna make sure work, but then it's like, okay, are you gonna hold on to these guys? Or are you gonna start bringing like the pieces if you think those aren't gonna be here in 2-3 years? I definitely agree with you on adding more size. I think after pick 3, depending on what pick 3 ends up being, because we're hearing some crazy rumors, which we'll get into in a second, about what can happen at 2. But if you don't have like that skill guy, like a Misa or something available at 3, and you go Martone and all that, like you gotta, I feel like you just gotta start getting the guys that have the skill but are size guys. Like priority on priority on maybe a little bit more priority on size versus skill. But I think Martone is that perfect, like he's got some size. He can, you know, when he develops correctly and, you know, you teach him to play that I don't know, grinder role is the right way to say it, but
Power
forward role. Yeah, there you go. Because he's got, I mean, everybody's talking about like him nonstop. You look at his reports on him, is that he is a skill guy.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, though, that just made me think of like Zach Hyman.
Yeah.
Right. So Zach Hyman scored close to 60 goals like a year ago. This year doesn't get that much, but like he can put the puck in the net. He can play with McDavid. That's fine. What was it during the regular season? He had like 89 hits or something.
Yeah.
And then for the first 3 rounds of the playoffs, he had like over 115.
Yeah, it was like 115. It was like, I think it was like whatever it was like a 9 hit per game average or something like that.
It's like that's the type of player that you need for the playoffs. Like a guy that can just like, he knows it's not his game during the regular season because like also you don't want to get hurt. You don't want to tire yourself out. You want to be able to like have the longevity to last that whole year, but you're still useful because you're putting the puck in the net, you know? And I mean, also Martone still has like good vision, great hands, but then being able to take that and then add in your size to fucking just beat people down in the corners when it comes to playoff hockey, like that's very important, I think.
Yeah, you use your size. You put his size. Like Hyman's not the biggest guy, and he sits in front of the net. And how many of those goals that one year he scored 60?
6'4".
Oh, was he really?
Yeah, dude. Hyman's a big boy.
He doesn't seem like it.
I'll figure it out.
But it's like you that's the type of player though. It's like you put him in front of the net, and he just, you know, the garbage man. You know, let Bedard or whoever get the puck to the net.
Oh, and he's only 6'1". Interesting. I thought he was bigger.
Yeah. I was gonna say he didn't. I knew he was like. I mean, I knew he was 6 foot, but I knew he wasn't like a monster.
I don't know why I thought he was 6'4". He just seems big.
Yeah, Martone 6'3" and 205 pounds, according to Elite Prospects, as of today.
And that's only at like 18 years old.
Yeah, so it's like, the more I think about it, I mean, we're not there yet, but I mean, that's Martone's the type of guy that I if you're talking about what keys to build around this draft class, I think Martone's blueprint of, the type of player he could be is kind of like what you want to gear towards, because as you said, we've added so much speed already, and speed only does so much. Like, yeah, it's awesome to be fast and, outskate everybody, but I mean, you're going to have all 5 guys on the ice just doing a full rink cycle the puck to like get stuff going. Like, no, you need the guys that can put the body in front, that can make ways. And I know everybody's concerned about his skating, and even if that is true that he's not the strongest skater, all you need him to do is get from point A to point B.
Yeah.
And let him do the rest.
One of like Matthew Tkachuk's not a very strong skater either. He's a very effective player.
Wasn't he the slowest skater in the
He was one
playoffs?
of them.
Yeah.
One of them, yeah.
Like, I know the way this league is going, speed is very important and a very nice asset to have. But again, you're going to have a bunch of Luis Mendozas out there and overskating the puck and like not doing, like being able to finish because they're going too fast. Let's stick with 2 guys that can skate and then a big boy with skill that can do everything else.
Yeah.
So then that too kind of goes to my next thought on how you're looking at it. And this maybe goes more for 25th overall. I mean, after you get number 3, obviously you're looking at, I mean, are we agreeing that like 3rd overall is going to be best player available?
I guess.
Or is it best or more?
I think it's best fit for the team.
Okay, I think maybe that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, the best. See, I don't know, because
I think best player available. I mean, all the players that are pretty much anybody that's going to be there is going to be a good fit for the team.
Yeah,
and the only way it would not also be best fit for the team is if for some reason Schaefer is at number 3.
Fair. Okay.
Because that just, like that would be drafting best player available. But I think at that point you probably do and just go, okay, yeah, we'll take him and then figure it out afterward.
Yeah. Gorshinsky, where are you going? But so 25th overall and then moving on, maybe 25th is, I think, after the 25th pick and maybe even the 34th, you're kind of start doing like, okay, like you're saying, let's look at the defenseman, let's look at needs to kind of, build a system up kind of thing. But it's like for 25th, 34, how are you hoping they approach? Are you hoping that they just go for the best player available? Are you hoping that they go for, a long shot? Do you want them to go for a need? Like what, like ideally perfect situation, what are you hoping for a 25 to 34?
Some more big boys. There was the one kid I was looking at that I was kind of hoping that they would get is that Vaclav Nestrashil. Gotta fucking find him again. I don't even know where they have him on here. But he's like 6'5". There it is. Vaclav Nestrashil. He's a Czech winger. He's 6'5.25", and they have on Elite Prospects Draft Guide they have him as a comparable to Alexei Protas, who's the big fucking guy in Washington.
Yeah,
and it's like, yeah, get yourself one of those. Like, why not? I can't remember who else there was. There's just like. Actually, I was also thinking in like the complete opposite direction too, is just go get the fastest and kid with the best shot or the one that has the ranked best shot and the fastest in Cameron Schmidt.
What was he ranked?
He's only 5'7".
Oh, no shit. What was he ranked though? 22.
Yeah. Otherwise, like I could see them.
He's got that dog in him.
Yeah, dude. I don't know if they would. I mean, anybody that's still highly ranked that maybe falls to 25, because like how Oliver Moore fell from top 10 to 18. Like if somebody like that ends up falling, definitely go that route. But the other thing is, like, I could see them packaging picks to move up.
That was the next thing I was going to bring up is packaging 25 and 34 to move up.
See, like not even that. Like they have 3 second rounders next year as well. Like you could still keep 25. And what they did last year was they moved up again into the first round with trading with Carolina by giving them multiple picks. I remember we got one of those picks back, but like you could trade away like the Islanders or Toronto's pick next year in the second round, plus like the 34th or the 62nd to move up again into the first.
Yeah. And so I was kind of like looking at the list of the first round. A lot of teams with multiple picks, and you got to wonder if there's something that could be had there. And you also got to wonder if potential like adding Lucas Reichel into a package there could potentially get them an even better pick in that first round. I mean, he's already been kind of connected to Edmonton. I don't know how legitimate that is, but there's been a couple of reports that the Oilers have reached out to the Hawks about Lucas Reichel, which is fitting because Stan Bowman just wants his typical, like, oh, bust of a first round pick. Let me bring him in and see if I can fix him. And it's your own fucking boss, you son of a bitch. But anyway, but like you're looking at from the Hawks at 25 and teams that could potentially want to move down that like I don't think LA is worth 24. There's nothing there. Nashville 23. I honestly don't think anything. I think starting at St. Louis at 19 would probably be the ballpark of like which pick you would start to. And I'm not saying that you would go at St. Louis. I'm just saying like 19, 18, 17, 16, 15.
Well, they like drafting 18, so
Calgary.
Yeah. See if they can move something with Calgary, but I don't know. I don't think that's unless they're able. Like, well, I was gonna say unless Pittsburgh wants to do anything, but Pittsburgh is like the only one that's going to be doing rebuild, and I don't think they're going to be like, well, yeah, we'll take more picks and get rid of like one of our 11 or 12th overall.
And it's such
Detroit.
It's just such a crapshoot because it's like with the cap going up, it has made this year so interesting. Because, like you just said, Pittsburgh is one of the few teams. Like, I think Pittsburgh is the only team that's not saying, let's get better.
Yeah.
You know, like Pittsburgh is definitely going in the direction of rebuild. They're all in for McKenna.
I wonder if you could somehow get one of 13, 14, or 15 from Detroit, Columbus, or Vancouver.
It's just, are they going to want. Like, what are they going to want? Like, I have a feeling like Detroit, especially Detroit. I mean, actually, all three of those teams, they're teams that are cusp of playoffs or in playoffs and just not being able to get the job done kind of thing. And they just are looking to get that next thing to push them over. So it's like, are those teams going to want to trade picks for picks? I mean, what type of player who in the Hawks do they want to make it worth their while to move that pick?
Jason Dickinson.
Wouldn't hate it.
Ilya Mikheyev.
Since we got like 5 players now on our team with the same freaking like style that the same role. Yeah. Okay, because I think we've talked about Donato re-signed 4x4. So he's here for 4 more years, which I'm happy about. But it's like now it's like Donato, Dickinson, Mikheyev, and Burakovsky.
Who?
Did I say that wrong?
Who are you talking about? Who are you talking about?
Burakovsky.
Burakovsky. I was like,
sorry.
Burakovsky.
That's the first time I've said his name wrong. That's ridiculous. Okay. I've always said his name right. Now that's
so funny.
Of course, we start fucking recording and I say it wrong. I hate this gimmick. I really fucking hate it.
That's so funny.
But it's like now you have all those all those guys that essentially fit the same role. So yeah, moving one of those maybe.
Yeah, I don't think Burakovsky's going anywhere since we just
No,
traded
but no,
for him.
no, no. Yeah,
But
but I'm just saying, like, I was using him as saying as like we have
Yeah.
all these guys that are like the same role and that we have expendables, and so it's like Mikheyev and Dickinson would be the ideal because they're both up at the end of the year.
Yeah. Plus, they were both, I guess, to kind of go off of the Burakovsky thing, it's like those were Kyle's guys that he acquired for nothing because they wanted to get him off the books.
Yeah.
And then they turned it around and had a good year. So it was Dickinson 2 years ago, Mikheyev last year, and we'll see. Maybe they get strike gold again with Burakovsky.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, that'd be pretty good.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's something to look at. I really feel like they're going to be picking in the top 20 twice.
Yeah.
It's just how did they get there?
It seems like it, but like you said, like it's just kind of who's willing to move out.
And then the thing too, it's like this draft class, it's like after the top 5, it's kind of just like a free for all. Like, who's the best person? You know, like, I mean, it's not like there's picks 1 through 15 are just absolute can't miss studs. Like, you got to go all in to like try to trade up to get these guys. It's like after the top 5, it's kind of like, cool, we can move up to get this guy, but we're not breaking the bank and assets to make that happen.
Yeah. I mean, even the top, like it's after the top 2 teams are just kind of like, I don't even know. Like it's all over the place. Like even the Hawks were like, I mean, if somebody wants a 3rd pick, like they can come get it. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But like, I don't think anybody's moving away from 1 or 2. I don't think San Jose or the Islanders are.
Well, the Islanders did come out and say that they are selecting first overall. They're not moving the pick.
They probably just like didn't get anything worthwhile when like teams were trying to contact them.
Now, here's a crazy question: do you make some sort of deal with the Islanders so they can get Schaefer and Hagens in 1-3?
What at what benefit to us?
Barzell.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine.
No, but like I'm wondering if the Islanders are going to try to get into the top 6 again.
I would say like it would be interesting if they did a similar thing to what the Hawks did last year, where they'll offer like their own unprotected 2026 first. But I still wouldn't take that deal because the Islanders weren't bottom 5 this year. They were bottom 10 on like not a very good year. They're about to get a very good player. They have cap space. I mean, they got 20 million in cap space right now. I don't think they really have to sign anybody too big other than Noah Dobson. Oh, and Alexander Romanov.
Which he's already been linked in. Is he a RFA? Or is he
both RFAs? But like that would make sense though too if they wanted to move on from Romanov, because if they're going to bring Schaefer in, they're both left-handed defensemen. Like, might as well get something for Romanov.
Yeah, he's been a lot of teams have been, I guess, kicking the tires on him. I think Philly and Boston are the 2 that I've seen.
That makes sense.
Names come up a lot with him, and then Boston and I think Buffalo kick tires on Dobson too.
Yeah, I mean, either way, I think if you were getting basically your defenseman of the future, like you can't really go wrong with unloading one of those guys and then loading up maybe more in free agency on like the forwards. You know what's funny about the Romanov is that's the initial trade for the 13th overall pick that we ended up getting from Montreal.
Yeah, we got him from Montreal for 13th, and then we flipped him to the Islanders.
No. The Islanders and Montreal made the trade.
And
for Romanov for the 13th, and then we ended up just trading Kirby Dach for the 13th. So that's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's just everything comes back to the Hawks, baby.
Let's go. I don't know. I don't see them getting anything worthwhile from the Islanders for the 3rd overall pick. On the other hand, if they are thinking about moving like Noah Dobson or Romanov, Utah could be on like somebody that'd be interested in that.
It's interesting because Utah is, since the end of the season, Utah's been thrown out there as a team that's going to look to make a big splash this offseason. And then it's been, especially the last week or so, Columbus has been saying that they're looking to do something big, and they're looking at like they're looking to potentially use both of their first to make that splash.
Ooh.
So it's like there's a lot going on there, and that could happen. So it's like
they have two. Interesting.
Yeah, was it what is like 20th or something? And
Yeah, that's the Eurocheck trade.
Yeah. And what was
20th,
like 11?
and then I said and then 14.
14, yeah. So I mean, I don't know if that gets whatever done that with the Islanders or something like that, but it's like still you got Sidney Crosby for 2 picks from Pittsburgh.
Sidney Crosby to Columbus. Yeah, right.
So, all right. I originally wrote it on our outline, like players you like at 3, but I feel like that goes into our rankings. So before we go to our rankings, is there any player you are hoping does not get called at 3 for the Hawks? Or are you at the point of just like believe in KD, and if he's being selected, there's a reason?
I think just anybody like outside the top 10, they are just wouldn't be like too excited for. I don't know. I just really don't have a great feeling about the Caleb Denoyer kid either. I don't know why. I just maybe because I don't like fucking French Canadians. But I mean, if he's really good, I can get over that.
Yeah, he's definitely probably the only one. And after that too, I'm kind of like, I think I'm so hellbent on wanting like a Misa or a Martone that it's like outside of that, I'm just like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, I think it's just the things that I've read about Denoyer too is just he seems like a safe pick if you're picking like 6th.
Mm-hmm.
With the players that are available at 3, I just feel like if they went there, then they're just kind of like it feels like they wouldn't know what they wanted, so they just went with the most for sure thing.
Makes sense.
I'm just like, I don't want like we want somebody that's going to be a huge part of this future, like a big part of it that's going to play alongside Connor Bedard and Frank Nazar. Like you get one of these guys is going to be a monster, and I just don't get that from that kid.
Yeah, and ideally, this in a perfect world, this is the last time the Hawks are picking top 5 because I know you're the face you're making. I'm just saying, like in a perfect world, you have to go like you gotta take this as this is the last time the Hawks are picking top 5 because you just have to hold
with their own pick.
You have to hold on to hope that they are going to take that next step and potentially moving up to like where they be in that like 8 through 13 position, like in there. You would hope so. Realistically, I expect us to be in a top 5 pick next year again. But I think it's going to be a lot better than this past season.
Yes.
And this past season was an improvement. So it's like if you're still picking top 5 next year and it's another improvement, awesome. But it's like you need to take this draft as this is the last chance you're going to have to add a very good piece via draft. So you got to go for somebody that screams 3rd overall.
Yeah.
And
if you're the Hawks and you get, let's say, 10 more wins, so you have 35 wins, you have 81 points, that still keeps you in the bottom 10 of the league. So like even that much of an improvement, you're still in the lottery.
Hockey is so fucking good now.
Yeah, I know. You're still in the lottery though. And like that's if they can do a 10-win improvement. If honestly they get like 7 wins, I would say Like that would be a really good improvement. And then that actually keeps them bottom 5 in the league. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
So
That's
nuts. That's still a huge improvement. And definitely going in the right direction. And then the league's just really good right now. I don't know. And plus, like you said, like everybody's looking to get better. Nobody's looking to rebuild other than Pittsburgh. So it's not like other teams are going to be clearly going down. It's like everybody's going to be trying to push forward. So it'll be tough. But
how many points did the Islanders? Do you have the standings pulled up?
Yeah.
How many points did the Islanders get last year?
82.
Okay, never mind. I was gonna say, like, holy shit! How many times have you seen like a team with 80-something points draft first overall? But last year, but it's like still before that just seems so. Like, you tell me your team puts up 80+ points and you're in contention for the fucking first overall pick still.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit.
Yeah, I mean the team that had 89 points moved up in the draft. They won the draft lottery for the second round. So they moved up to 4. 89 points. Sometimes that gets you in the playoffs.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, dude.
All right, since we're talking trade the third overall, we'll do our rankings to wrap up draft talk, but say the Hawks don't pick third overall. They use that trade to add a player in the system. I mean, what to you is worth moving that? Because I mean, there is a difference. Like, yeah, it's awesome adding an NHL ready player, kind of going against what we just talked about, how like you got to take this as the last opportunity to add via draft. But if you can go out and get like a JJ, a Rossi, a Matthew Knies, like, is there a certain player out there that you were like, Hawks have traded third overall for X, and you're like, yeah, makes sense. I like that. Let's go. Or is it kind of to the point where it's just use the third overall pick to draft?
This is where I wish if we had like the 11th overall pick and they were like, they traded it straight up for JJ Peterka, I'd be like, fuck yeah, dude. What a sick move.
Yeah.
Great move. But it's the third, and I'm kind of like, whoever we're going to draft at 3 is very likely going to be just as good, if not better, than any of the guys that they would trade for that are like on the like RFA like offer sheet list.
Yeah.
And we would have them for a lot longer, fitting the timeline better, and not overpaying them, or not overpaying, but like not eating up a huge chunk of the cap immediately.
Right.
But since it's at 3, I don't know. I'd have to like look again.
What about
anybody that is under contract that maybe nobody's really talking about?
Well, not talking about. I mean, it's been talked about a lot. What about a Jason Robertson?
Yes. I still am just like, I don't know, I'm not into moving the third. If it was like the third straight up for Robertson, like I wouldn't be upset. I'm just like, be like, is there anything else we can do instead?
Yeah. In that type of situation too, it's like you got to trade those guys. Well, I mean, JJ, Rossi, Knies, those are all guys that need a contract. But it's like if you're trading a guy that's got 1 year left and then he's an RFA, or even if you got 1 year left, it's like you got to have the condition on it. It's like this trade's only going through if this player agrees to a contract extension.
Yeah,
like, you're not going to trade for Connor McDavid this year and be like, okay, here we got McDavid now, but he's just going to go and walk next year. You know, like you got to have some sort of guarantee that this is worth our while and all that.
Yeah, I don't know. I wish it was easy.
I think it makes more sense to move next year's picks for an RFA. Depending on the pick, I'm not saying like all the first round. I'm just saying like I mean they have 9 picks next year, 5 in the first 2 rounds. They have 11 picks total in the first 3 rounds this year and next year. Like total.
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, I think the only thing stopping it is what's realistically the ask for the players that are out there.
Yeah. I'm thinking like if it was the third for like JJ, I would hope that they would also get like someone else too. Like it's like a double package. Not like Bowenbarm though. Like we don't need Bowenbarm.
Yeah, that's one. Like that name keeps coming around, and I don't like it. Like it doesn't make any sense for the Hawks to bring him in.
Give me like just third for Matt Rempe.
Dude, that was the biggest like when he signed his contract, and one of the hockey counts was like Matt Rempe resigns, making it impossible for him to be offer sheeted. I was like, nobody was going to offer sheet him.
No,
New York was okay. They could have waited.
Yeah. Give me fucking Seth Jarvis.
Yeah.
That would be like one of the only ones. Actually, Seth Jarvis or like Svechnikov. That would be good.
All right.
That's all I got.
Last thing here before we do our rankings is one bold take for the draft, and this doesn't have to be Hawks related.
Hawks get Misa at 3.
I don't know. That's bold because that's gonna happen.
Hagens goes 1.
That was actually gonna be my bold.
What if the Hawks actually go Hagens at 3?
I wouldn't hate it. Like I like Hagens.
Yeah.
Like I don't understand where all this like all of a sudden Hagens goes from being like, oh, the potential number 1 overall pick to doing exactly what he was expected to do and somehow falls to 8.
It's just I think part of it is he didn't set himself far enough away from the pack still that like the pack caught up. And the packs also got size.
He did a hell of a lot more than Schaefer did.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. Kid's got fucking good feet.
Yeah, so all right. So let's do our final rankings for this draft. Again, this is our top 5 picks for who we believe will be available for the Hawks at 3. So depending on how you're looking at how 1 and 2 is going to go, that's how you pick the list. Tanner, your second ranking went as Misa, Martone, Hagens, McQueen, and Frondell. Mine was Misa, Hagens, McQueen, Martone, and Frondell. So let's see. Where do you want to start? 5 to 1 or 1 to 5 for your list?
I think, dude, fucking 1 to 5. I cannot think of the opposite direction right now.
All right, who's your number 1?
Porter Martone.
All right, number 2.
Number 2, Misa.
Number 3,
Frondell.
Number 4.
I'm gonna go McQueen.
And number 5 for your final ranking of the 2025 draft class.
Hagens.
All right. I'm sticking with Misa number 1. I'm going Martone number 2.
Oh, yeah.
Frondell number 3.
Uh-huh.
Number 4. Somebody new. I just really like this player. I know it doesn't like he doesn't make sense for 3, and he's not going to be there unless the Hawks move up. But Victor Eklund.
Oh, okay.
Also played with Frondell, by the way, in Sweden.
Yeah.
That kid's gonna be sick. Like looking at him like, oh man, I'm excited to watch him, and I have a feeling he's gonna end up in Detroit.
Yeah.
And then number 5, I'm going to the committee on this one. Can I say my number 5 on the list is just trade the pick? Or do you want me to pick a player?
Pick a player.
Okay, Hagens. I don't know because it was like
draft ranking.
Yeah, I'm just saying because was just asking because I was like,
you'd rather just trade the pick than draft Hagens.
No, it's not that. It's like I feel like at that point it's like almost it'd be interesting to see what they could get at 3 at that point.
Yeah.
That's all. But I mean, Hagens would be there.
I just think it's so funny. Like you keep looking at the Caleb Denoya kid, and like all the reasons that people keep putting him at 3 is because they keep saying the Hawks need a center. when the Hawks have come out saying that Bedsy and Nazer are the centers for the future.
That drives me fucking insane. Is that everybody is like, oh, the Hawks need a center, Hawks need a center. Well, we have said, like Kyle Davidson has said, oh yeah, well, what does he know? This is a fucking GM. Like he knows how he's building his team. Go winger or go a guy that can play center and wing.
And that's why, like, Porter Martone, fucking right wing. Michael Misa can play the left. I mean, he can take faceoffs too because he's a center. I saw that Frondell can play right side. He can also, I mean, he wants to be a center, but he can play the right side too.
Eklund is a winger. He plays both left and right wing.
Yeah.
And then Hagens, I think, is the only one on both of our lists that's a true center.
Yeah.
That only is listed as center. So, or McQueen. What's McQueen listed as?
Center.
Oh, so okay, so he's.
But, I mean, it's easy to move anybody to. I mean, it's easier to move a center to the wing than a wing to center. So,
all right, this is the last time we're talking about it. So, do you got anything else you want to add for WCB podcast 2025 draft coverage?
I'm just curious if the Hawks end up doing another, like dual sport athlete pick, like they did with AJ Spellacy, since he did kind of like have a really good preseason and training camp. If they like that kind of like trying to do that again, because there's that Mason West kid who might be available at 34, or may even fall back to 62, in like the second round somewhere. I wonder if they do that. There's also keep getting interested in this one kid who's kind of that boomer bust kind of player that I keep seeing. It's the Ivan Ryabkin.
Yeah.
That Russian. I guess
I thought
he had issues in fucking.
I thought you were saying his name was Boomer Bust. I'm like, that's a fucking insane name.
But this kid apparently had like issues with playing over in Russia and came over and played in the USHL.
Well, that's good to know. A Russian that's already over here, so that helps big time.
Yeah, and then here's the elevator pitch from the draft guide. A violent center who can thread a needle and hammer a puck. He could turn into an ideal third line pivot so long as his motor and consistent involvement take a step. I just like that it's in bold where it says violent center.
Like, violent is good.
Yeah.
Need some violence, especially after watching the playoffs this year. Violence will help you get over that hump.
Yeah, dude.
I guess the last thing too, to talk about with the draft is because I kind of mentioned we'll talk about later, but Misa could still be in play because a lot of talk about the Sharks like in Frondell. And Elliot Freeman talked about in 32 Thoughts that he's not sure if there's any truth to this or if it's just one of those smoke screens to try to throw people off a little bit. But it's like, and then you see people like I see like San Jose Sharks accounts on like Twitter, like talking about Frondell at 2 and all this kind of stuff, and they're replying to people, and it's like, I don't know if they're just fucking with people, like the fan accounts, if they really believe that Frondell is good enough to be the second overall pick, and they would be happy with it. So, I mean,
yeah,
it's gonna be.
I don't know if people are just trying to, cause a little chaos like right before the draft. I feel like that happens every year, where it's like you get down to the wire, and then it's like all of a sudden, oh no, Patrick Laine might go first overall instead of Austin Matthews, and it's like, oh shit, really? Like, is that possible? And then behind the scenes, they're like, no fucking way, like.
But the crazy thing is just with this class, it's that there's a really good chance that chaos does happen finally, because it's just so open-ended on who can go where, and it's like even the top two guys are kind of like, okay, well, yeah, they should be number 1 and 2, but XYZ.
It'd be funny if the Hawks just like go Carter Bear at 3. Just, I mean, I wouldn't be upset. I would just be like, holy shit, no one saw that coming. Okay.
Yeah, right. Like, let's go and just sort of like, who else? Carter Bear. Maybe they do go Victor Eklund, or they do that Brady Martin.
Brady Martin, yeah, or Justin Carbonneau. The kid's apparently got some sick hands.
Or they just go really fucking nuts and go Ravensburg. Bergen.
Yeah, right.
Ravensbergen, third overall.
They fucking trade their goalie for like the fourth overall pick. I don't know. I'm excited. I can't wait.
So couple days. Let's do real quick. I don't there's really not much for the Hawks to talk about this offseason and free agency because I think expectations have been kind of set based on the few moves that have already happened for the Hawks. They've already made the signing with Donato, his 4x4. I think it's the first couple years he's got minimum trade coverage protection.
10 team. Is it
the 2 years?
10 team no trade list, and then it's to 8 on 2 and 3. Puckpedia says that it's an 8-team no trade list in the 4th year, but I saw elsewhere that it was no protection.
There's no protection. That's what I heard too. So unless that was reported wrong, so they signed him. Glad to have him back. I think Hawk fans need to, and I know this is going to happen. Last season was an anomaly for him. Like I don't see him putting up the same amount of goals that he did last year. I think he's still going to be a very big part of the offense, but it's not going to be what it was last year. So expectations need to be tapered with him on that.
Yeah. I still think that he can produce, at least 20 given the circumstances that he's playing in. It's just, this is the first time since in his whole career too, that he was averaging over 15 minutes a game for like a full season. And I'm sure probably getting power play time, like he was given the opportunity. It was pretty crazy. Like he was shooting 17%. So that'll probably come down. And a lot of guys are usually shooting around 10%. But if he ends up taking more shots, he can still hit like 20, 25 goals.
And who knows who else comes into the team and if his role is going to diminish a little bit. But the other move we already talked about, Burakovsky. Traded from Seattle for Veleno. I don't hate the deal. I know people are kind of like, he's 30 years old. He's got $5.5 million for 2 more years. And it's like, well, the Hawks need to get to the cap floor. That's still a thing.
Yeah, the cap's going up so much. Like they're all right. So $5.5 million this year. And then next year, the Hawks have like 70+ million in cap space.
I think it's like 74 now after this trade.
Yeah. So, the contracts that are overinflated a little bit, like Foligno and Dickinson, are going to be off the books. So the fact that he's still getting 5.5 isn't really going to matter. And this, like I kind of said, like way earlier though, it's like this is the same thing that Dickinson's done over the last 2 years. Where 2 years ago you got Dickinson, he had brought him in on a very one-sided trade that benefited us very, very much, and he had a great season. And then last year, same thing. We got Mikheyev in a second fucking round pick for a 4th rounder, and Mikheyev had his best year since playing with Toronto. And I mean, it's his blueprint for like, okay, I'll take this one this year, and it's like, all right, well, I kind of am just really excited to know that Burakovsky is going to have a really good season. The Hawks. I thought he was a really exciting player back when he was in Washington. I was like, he's not quite Alexander Semin but he's very similar. Just didn't put up that same kind of points because the teams that he was on was stacked. Those were stacked Washington teams. But he put up 61 points with Colorado when they won.
Yeah, he's a 2-time Cup champ, right? Like he was a part of that 2018 Washington team. So it's like you're bringing in experience, and it's like, it's not like, okay, the Hawks need this experience to like, we're competing for a cup, but it's like this guy's been around winning teams. He knows what it takes to take that team to the next level and what you need to do. So it's like you have Foligno here that is teaching them like, rechanging the definition of what it means to be a Blackhawk. And he's taking that leadership type of role for the team off ice. And then now you're bringing in Burakovsky, and he's kind of be that. I'm not saying he's going to be the same levels of Foligno, but it's like it's a guy who knows how to win on ice and what it takes to be a competitive team on ice. And he's going to be able to show that. And if he can stay healthy this year, I don't see any reason why he's not going to flirt with what he did in Colorado and Washington, but I mean, he could still be probably a 50-point guy if he's healthy.
Yes. So here's his last year in Colorado was 21-22. He had 61 points in 80 games, 22 goals, 39 assists. He was playing around 16 minutes a game. Then he got his new contract with Seattle. And then I think this is where his injury issues started to happen. But he still had 39 points in 49 games, playing a little over 16 minutes, like 16 and a half minutes of time on ice. That was his best point per game. No, it wasn't. Sorry. It wasn't his best point per game season, but he was averaging 0.8 points per game. And then I don't know if Seattle started to utilize him differently or if his injury was still nagging him, but the 2 years ago, he only had 49 games and 16 points. And then last year it was 37 points in 79 games, but his time on ice dropped by 2 minutes per game.
You have to imagine too, he's going to be used probably top 6, maybe top 9.
I think in my mind, he's going to be on where Mikheyev was last year with Bedard. Because Mikheyev, I think, is going to be still put back on the third line because that's where he thrived. And then just the penalty kill was insane. Mikheyev, Teravainen, and Nazer, just any two of those three out there, I was like, oh, we might score here. I can't wait for that again. But I think Burakovsky, if he gets the time on one of the top lines, he can probably still put the puck on the back of the net, get some assists, put some points up, look good.
Yeah. So like we said, it's kind of set of the expectations for the summer. That's no big game fishing. Marner out. I think Besser is probably off. Ehlers probably out. A quick wish list that you would want for the offseason. I mean, I know we're going a little long here, but for me particularly, I would love to get one more guy that could be in the top 6 that you can either rotate from Bedard's line to Nazar's line, stuff like that. And I think we both agree that the other key thing probably would be is another vet defenseman.
Yeah. Yeah, and not Aaron Ekblad, not somebody that you're going to spend 7 years on or whatever, but somebody that would be probably a 1 year deal.
1 year.
Yeah. It's just tough because there's not very many options available for top 6 players unless they really wanted to overpay Marchand for 1 year. But I'm sure he's going to get multi-year offers from a bunch of places that are going to be really high priced. Patrick Kane would be the best if we did not have the history we don't want to bring back. It would just be so stupid.
Yeah, and even if it did make if that wasn't there, I still don't know. Personally, I don't know if I would want Kane back. It'd be the nostalgia thing just isn't doing it for me.
No, it's not that. It's just he can bring so much more offense to a team that struggles to generate offense at times.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't know. Fucking Brent Burns.
Nah, he'll resign in Carolina.
Yeah, he probably will. Because I'm just thinking, if anything, I'd probably looking more at a right side defenseman veteran, so that you can pair up. I don't know, a third pairing guy. Yeah, I would assume it's going to be, in my mind, Vlasic and Renzel. And then I would say, hopefully, it's Korchinski and Murphy. And then maybe Kaiser or Del Mastro and another vet.
Well, Levshinov.
I just think he starts in the A.
You think so?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I just think he gets more time. It was just a good opportunity to get him up last year. But yeah.
Not arguing that. I'm just saying that's interesting.
Fucking Tony DeAngelo.
Why do I see that happening though?
Why don't we fucking just get Tony DeAngelo and then we just move him at the deadline?
Hey,
Tony.
The amount of fucking soprano shit we can do with that.
Tony, you want to come play for the Hawks?
Oh, hey. You go play the Hawks. We got a lot of gabagool for you. Bring the gabagool. All right.
It's fucking stupid.
So
I hope they sign him now so we can fucking do that all year. You see this guy Tony DeAngelo? He's fucking skating up and down the ice with the Hawks.
Oh. All right. You got anything else?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, we touched on everything. So, draft Friday.
Be there, be square.
It's what, 7 o'clock or 6 o'clock Central Time?
I don't know. It's their favorite time is 7 o'clock Central Time, but it's probably 6 o'clock Central Time. How do we not know this?
Yeah, I don't know. I gotta figure out what is it Eastern Time? That matters for me because I will be in Michigan.
It is 7 p.m. Eastern.
Okay, so 6 o'clock Central draft. You heard it here first. Michael Misa, congratulations on coming to Chicago. We look forward to seeing you tear
with
it up.
Porter Martone.
So, all right. Episode 325.
Whoa.
And we're calling it with the third overall pick. That's it. That's what we're calling it. Make sure to follow us on your favorite podcast feed, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, the big two. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Like this video. Toss a comment too. Let's help us boost up in the algorithm. Get some more eyes on our shit. Social media at WCB Podcast. And yeah, we'll see you on the next one.
Congrats, Keith. Love you, boys. Bye.
Thanks for listening to the WCB Podcast. Be sure to subscribe wherever you heard this podcast. To connect with Jarom and Tanner, check out the boys at WCB Podcast on all social media. We'll see you next time.